While we continue to watch as Elon Musk drives Twitter into the ground, they've lost at least half of their advertisers, which means the majority of their revenue. But let's not forget that Truth Social is also spiraling the drain. That Donald Trump's struggling social media platform appears to be losing users at a substantial rate. According to right-wing media watchdog group The Writing, Comscore data for Truth Social has been showing a significant drop in users over the past 2 months. Trump's site reportedly reached a peak high of 4.2 million visitors in August and has been downhill since there, or from there. In September, Truth Social was down to 3.38 million. Okay. And by October, was sitting at 2.85 million visitors. That is a total loss of about 1.17 million visitors over a quarter of its peak high numbers. Already, disaster, sad baby. So what's the reason? Oh, there's multiple reasons. Ask Howard Polskin, a lifelong media vet and founder of The Writing. He told Confider that the drop suggests a decreasing interest in what Trump is saying on his platform. So why don't we dig into that? Trump's a loser. Obvious. And by the way, it's not just like, no, he's an election loser. Lost in the 20, and then a lot of his candidates, the vast majority of his candidates in 2022 midterms also lost. They lost very winnable races, and it's because they were running as insane Trump candidates that were election deniers and people that, of course, wanted to literally have the government get between you and your doctor if you're a woman who, is pregnant. So, yeah. People were not in favor of that. But not only is Donald Trump a loser, but apparently Trump's gotten stale. The only thing he does now on Truth Social is whine and cry about the election that happened a couple of years ago. And then, also rage over the family of, people investigating him and all that. But the other thing here about Truth Social is that it's a bubble. Now, the right wing loves to talk about free speech, but on Truth Social, you can literally get banned for talking about the January 6th hearings. You can get banned for making fun of Donald Trump or Devin Nunes and his cow. So they don't even believe in their own warped version of free speech, free speech, free speech. But anyway, that bubble is full of right-wingers. Now, okay. Thing is, there's no libs to argue with. That's one of the favorite pastimes of the right wing. There's no one to own there. There's no liberal tears to drink. There's no SJWs to trigger. Well, where's the fun in that? Well, if you're a right-winger, no. If you're MAGA, the only thing you really do enjoy is owning the libs. So what's there to do on Truth Social? Be honest, by the way, hate watchers, those who are MAGA, that's why you're here. Fine. Thank you, by the way, for your continued viewership. I appreciate it. Your little view helps. Every rage comment just feeds my algorithm, makes me stronger. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I keep making the point. That's why these right-wing social media sites end up dying off. If you're really into creating a successful social media experience and want to make money from it, well, then you can't just pander to one specific group on, for example, this is on the right wing, but if somebody made like communist chat or something, well, that's not going to be very appealing to the rest of everyone else. And that's going to die off as well. No, you have to, you can create a big social media company, by the way, and then allow people to create groups and sections for specific demographics. That's fine. That works out. And in fact, a lot of the social media that we see today does that, like Facebook groups, for example. But that said, you generally can't devote your entire website into the identity of being, we are conservative. But they honestly do believe that that's what Twitter and Facebook were doing, which is ridiculous. But that said, if you want to entice people to use your social media platform, well, you have to have some rules there. and rules, to make sure that you don't have violence, threats, and neo-Nazis or people that are constantly spamming the N-word at you. Because generally that makes it a very uncomfortable place for people to be. So you have to have some ground rules. That's it. That's it. And again, the other thing is you have to have a platform that people actually want to use that provides some sort of utility in your life. Now, one reason that Twitter got so important and big is because you could really do a lot of social movements in real time, where you had real time reactions to world events. And so that's an important utility. Now, that seems to have been, well, going away in this case. That said, why would I, as a leftist, want to use something like Truth Social, other than to troll Trump supporters, would get me banned? Well, literally no purpose unless you like the circle jerk. Which is why it's failing to retain a lot of users. It's also failing to gain advertisers for various other reasons, but mainly because you have Trump. It's a toxic brand, thanks to January 6th. But you also have the SEC investigation that has put a hold on the merger with the SPAC. And so that means he's not able to pay the creditors. And, if you can't pay your creditors, you can't really run a website. It's not going to stay online unless they're paid. So the site is in a world of hurt. But then, of course, you also have Twitter. Polskin notes that if the numbers keep declining, he may be tempted to go back to Twitter in order to reach a much larger audience, especially since Musk has been busy turning Twitter into a right-wing hellscape and unbanning worst people, worst accounts. He's going to do a mass amnesty to a lot of the, hate accounts that had been banned previously. That said, Trump might not be able to return to Twitter because, okay, so Musk unbanned Twitter's account. Donald Trump's account to get him to go back on Twitter. Why isn't Donald Trump back on Twitter? Well, because he can't do so without being sued and without triggering claims of securities fraud. That said, has Donald Trump been one to follow the law and rules? He's not very good at it. And he's been sued so many times that who knows? He might show up again back on Twitter any day now. For me, it's looking more likely not of an if, but when.